Hello everyone, my name is Ben Decker. In this video I'm going to go over the 444 hedge, which is a variation of the 442 hedge. So just as a review, let's go over the 442. So I'm going to go into SPY. This one, same type of expiration, around the 45 days to expiration. Here I'm going to go out to the May monthly, which is 70 days to expiration, just to give myself a little bit more time. And I'm going to look for a 5-point wide put debit spread that I can get for $1. So I'm going to move the strikes up on the page, down in number, till I find the debit spread going for $1. I'm going to buy 4 of these, and then I'm going to find the put that's going for about $4. That is the 352 in this case, and I'm going to sell 2 of those. So this trade takes up about 8,000 in buying power. I wanted to find a way to reduce this buying power reduction for this hedge. And so what I came up with is using span margin. So for those that don't know, span margin is used with futures, and they give you a lot better efficiency with regards to buying power efficiency. So there's actually a product /MES, which is the micro E-mini S&P 500, and that is controls 50 shares of SPY. So with options, if we do 2 MES, that's the equivalent of 1 SPY. So we can go into the May expiration, and I'm going to sell 2 puts, which is the equivalent of 1 in SPY. I'm going to find the one that's going for $400 in credit for both of these combined. So I'm just going to go up. I'm going to give myself a little bit of safety factor here. So if I go to the 35.20 strike, I'm collecting $410 for these 2 puts, and that will cover the cost of my SPY debit spread. So that's the equivalent of the 441. So if I want to do the equivalent of the 442, I need to sell 4 of these. So I'll sell 4 of these, and that's the equivalent of the 442 in SPY, except the 2 short puts in SPY are the 4 now in MES. And you can see the difference here. So with these 4 short puts, the buying power effect is $2,000. If we go back to SPY, it's going to be closer to $8,000. So there's quite a bit of difference with buying power relief with regards to span margin. I do want to point out that the risk is still the same when you have the naked short puts on. So in both cases, your risk is getting long, the equivalent of 200 shares of SPY. The only difference is the margin relief you get before you take off the short puts. So if we go back to MES here, the other thing with futures, if you haven't traded these before, is this margin relief buying power effect is much more variable than using equities like SPY. So if we get a down move, this buying power effect is going to increase much faster than if you use the 442 in SPY. So that's something to also keep in mind. But other than that, the trades are essentially the same. But for this trade, you're using $2,000 in buying power instead of $8,000. So this is the hedge that I use personally. I would recommend it to others if you are familiar with futures trading and are comfortable with the risk of 200 shares of SPY. Thanks for watching. Just a quick recap here. So since this is 2 separate products, you would do this in 2 separate trades. So in SPY, you would only do the debit spread. So these short puts here I would not do. So I would do these 4 put debit spreads for $400, and then I would, after that's filled, I would go into MES and sell 4 puts that I can get for $800 total, so that when I take off 50% of these, or when I take all of these off for 50% profit, that $400 credit that I'm left with cancels out the debit spread on the SPY. So that's the 444 hedge. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and thanks for watching.